Why students should not start a startup? If you asked me a few years ago, I could not imagine I would be standing here talking about startup. Because back then, I didn't even know what a startup is. I'm just like many of us here, student, just living out my student life, playing games, watching movies, hang out with friends, and etc. Until one day, I was given the opportunity to join a program by MAGIC, Malaysia Global Innovation and Creativity Center. It is an organization that helps nurture young startup or company to develop in Malaysia. So for those who doesn't know what startup is, so startup in essence is a young company that start to develop, usually made of a handful of investors and founders. And usually what startup do, they are working on a product or solution that is new, exciting, and haven't been into the market. For example, all of us use Grab, Uber, Airbnb, that's all startup. So when we're talking about student and startup, we cannot miss talking about this person, Mark Zuckerberg, a CEO and founder of Facebook. His story starting Facebook from his dorm room, and then drop out from Harvard, and then become millionaire, and then become billionaire, inspired so many young souls in admiration, which including myself. So, like many others, I also try to walk into his path. My startup story began in 2016, where I developed a web portal for students, university students like all of us here, to find information like rental houses, discount, and place to eat. At first, it was a lot of assignment because my expectation is when this thing goes out there, like Facebook, I will be like millionaire overnight. But I was wrong. No one are using it because no one are asking for it. So it failed, and I failed. The startup failed. So if you are thinking to start your own startup, there is no straight route. There is no straight route for you. You have to work your ass around. You have to put a lot of effort to make your startup and dream come true. And this scenario that I always encounter after an event like this. So a friend or a student would come to me and pitch out their startup idea. So most of people tend to be defensive and on guard with their idea, because they believe if they tell everything about the idea, everyone would steal the idea. So let me tell you that it's wrong, because your idea is just 1% of the whole story. 99% of startup is action. It's always based on action. If you are busy guarding your idea, you are leaving out potential customer, or giving out the right feedback that your startup or idea need. Because if you had, let's say, experience A, not everyone had experience A. Maybe someone got experience B, maybe another one got experience C. So you are leaving out the opportunity to learn from others, as well as the potential connection that you could make when you telling people what your startup or idea is all about. And let's say your idea do sell, you are making money. Don't expect that you can become a boss. In startup, usually made of a team of 3 or 3%. So everyone roles or job would overlap with each other. The marketing guy would do this job that operation guy would do. That's a normal in startup. But if you are busy directing people, hey, you do this, hey, you do that, your startup will hurt. In startup, what we need is a leader that ride along together to the vision and mission of the startup, not a boss. And the thing that we as students love is our cuti, our holiday. Everyone, especially students, love our holiday. But if you are thinking to starting your own startup as a full-time student, forget all of this. You will not have it anymore. Because once you start your own startup as a student, you will use any little free time that you had beside your study or go to classes to work on your startup. So be aware of what you will trade off with your startup. Or you rather to go to tea, or you rather to work on your startup. Lastly, if you are familiar with startup news, getting investment from VC is a celebration occasion. It's like a dream come true for any startup in the world to get investment from VC. But do not fall into the trap that only getting investment from VC will make your startup success. Because there are a lot of other options. For example, we have crowdfunding. That means you're asking people, so many people, to give you money to start your startup. Or you maybe can ask for angel. So for those who doesn't know, angel is basically a really rich guy who doesn't know what to do with his money. So he are looking for guys like you or me to give out money and start a business. And lastly, you can apply for government loans. In Malaysia, we have few loans, then you can search in internet. For example, me and my co-founder here, we start financing our current startup booklet right now by selling sliced fruit in our dorm room. We knocking door by door, knock, 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 knock. Hey, do you want to buy fruit? Something like that. The money wasn't much, but it's enough for us to start our first prototype and our website. What I want to tell you here is, if you had the will, there will always the way. In fact, fortunately, if you are fast forward 2 years now, we are already offering our technology to other organizations as well as working on with our product. And our product, in fact, can help you create money. So if you had notes or books from previous years or previous semester, you can go to our platform or download our app, post your books or notes there, and other students will buy it. Well, at least you have some capital to start your startup if you want right now. I'm giving you a solution right now. And even after all I tell you, and you are still inspiring to start your own startup, are you still want to start your own startup? That's great, because that's the spirit that startup need. Because if you look at the news, it's always the glitters or the butterfly, like Mark Zuckerberg's story. Because dirt and sweat doesn't sell story. That's why he doesn't know about it. And now you are ready to start your own startup. So I'm Hakim, a full-time student that running with his startup. Thank you.